Today, we're going to be talking about ships. Yeah, that's right, the big star of the show. Welcome to the long-anticipated episode 4 of the ship manufacturers of Star Citizen. This episode will be looking at the two most exotic major companies in the game. Make sure to check out the rest of the series in the video description, as well as my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday Twitch stream, where we can talk about these details live. Now, let me show you why Origin, Jumpworks, and Esperia are the premier luxury ship makers of the verse. Thank you for coming to my Tomato Talk. Do you consider yourself luxury? Do you mind using rare and endangered materials for your own little daily pleasures? Do you buy triple ply toilet paper? Origin Jumpworks is your kind of company. Origin's extensive array of high-end spacecraft is known for their sleek and sophisticated lines, and their exclusive customer base heralds the company as the pinnacle of comfortable and attractive spaceflight solutions. To them, Origin is not just a brand, but a lifestyle. Origin Jumpworks was incorporated during the mid-28th century and produced high-quality thrusters used by the UEE military and mounted on the ostentatious Robert Space Industries star yachts. With the need for personal spacecraft growing exponentially at the time, Origin stopped making components and made a move to compete with their own buyers. Within 10 years of this transition, the company was producing a top 5 selling mid-scale transport, and within 50 years, their small, loyal, and exclusive customer base had propelled Origin's gross profits to be neck and neck with RSI's spacecraft division. Now, Origin was based off of the banks of the Rhine in Cologne, so I could really stop there in the story and you would understand why the company might be so posh. But there's much more to the origin of Origin than an original origination story. Origin initially had strong ties to Earth. However, in 2913, President Jennifer Friskers made an unexpected executive order that declared Terra as the new cultural capital of the UEE. As it most definitely is, despite the opinions of those loyal to Earth. Yeah, I see you guys out there in the comments. With this announcement, it was intended the corporate headquarters and primary design team move from Earth to New Austin. Since then, almost all of Origin's manufacturing operations have left the Sol system, with only an engine testing facility remaining on Earth's moon. Government scrutiny of the company since the move has also flourished, with tax issues quadrupling. New Austin has since become an Origin town, with the company holding fast as the key employer. You know that means it's nice, as the system has become a mecca for Origin enthusiasts, with wealthy buyers traveling across the galaxy to purchase their ships straight from the factory floor, a practice very common with Consolidated Outland. Additionally, Origin has sponsored naming rights for local stadiums, education centers, and streets. Tourists not looking to land a luxury ship instead leave New Austin with all kinds of Origin engraved souvenirs. With a fairly young history, CEO Jennifer Friskers has consistently pushed the company to reinvent the wheel. She often requests that engineers and designers revisit old ideas to see if fresh eyes or modern advances might now make it Origin worthy. The result is a vast staple of ships that can address a wide variety of functions while still maintaining Origin's sleek and sophisticated style. Origin design is arguably the most distinct style in the entirety of Star Citizen. When you get deep into the Origin style with ships like the 890 Jump or the 600i, there is absolutely no possible way to mistake the brand. That being said, there are some older designs that show that Origin has gone through one of the biggest design changes of any company. But we won't focus on that today. Let's look at what Origin stands for through and through. As the most luxurious brand in all of humanity, Origin is held to a particularly high standard of design by itself and others in the industry. When following the flow of an Origin-made design, you'll see that lines will rarely terminate themselves, and when they do, it's generally downward, away from the eyes, as to produce a sense of calming continuity. Key lines flow through the environment and tend to wrap around on themselves. Natural materials have found a home on Origin ships because what's more expensive than getting a heavy, unnecessary object up into space? Staircases and steps flow in and out of the wall, adapting to the shape of the surrounding area in an organic manner and fading away almost unperceived. With such a minimal design, you'll find that components are also often covered up and hidden away, though available at a touch. This cleanliness crosses over to the cargo grids as well. Origin ships actually contain wall-mounted grav plates where you can store cargo, partially as a flex, but also partially to allow for more comfortable traversal with an unimpeded floor. Smaller Origin ships have wheels, and some ships have a blunt nose. Developers actually spent a considerable amount of time looking at luxury car manufacturers and yacht manufacturers to see how they would implement shapes, materials, and designs into their products. Glass doors provide a lot of natural light inside, whereas even other high-quality spacecraft often need to depend on artificial lighting. And where that isn't possible, area lights tend to be the way to go, as opposed to higher concentration lighting like what you might find on an anvil ship. The exterior of the ship is much like the interior, with lines disappearing unnoticed and thrusters integrated into the natural shapes of the body. A molded hull wraps the chassis almost as if a tapestry was draped over the ship, and larger surfaces continue almost uninterrupted by hard edges or obvious components. The ship appears to be made of large panels rather than segments, such as something from RSI. Overall, the Origin design is uncompromising, minimalistic, and organic, a piece of art in flight, and the pinnacle of luxury design. Through the years, Origin has remained synonymous with luxury, while also delivering a diverse lineup that includes open canopy cruisers, single-seat speedsters, and luxury yachts. The 85X is a snub fighter, most commonly associated with the 890 Jump. It is a fantastic vehicle for ferrying a single passenger to and from planetary surfaces and features a design that is in no way perceived as an afterthought. However, originally conceived as a short-range racing craft, the 85X does not include a quantum or jump drive in its sleek and compact design. The 100 series is the newest addition to the lineup as of 2020. After being pushed aside by the development for the 200 and 300 series ships, the 100i finally came to fruition in the 2940s to spearhead the Air Initiative, a new fuel refinery system featured in Origin ships. The 100 series fits the perfect size for valuable personnel and item transportation. It is an incredibly compact but long-distance luxury vehicle, meant for 1 to 2 people. The 300 series is Origin's workhorse. Introduced in 2920, the 300 series vehicles have managed to dominate the market in racers, fighters, small transports, and scanning vehicles. It is one of the most popular ship series in UEE space and offers a wide variety of customizations to its pilots. The M50 is a top-tier racing ship, made for 0 to 100 speed and high maneuverability. Often called a power plant with a cockpit attached, the M50 has seen use outside of its celebrated racing career. In the 2930s, the Advocacy commissioned several M50s as interdiction vehicles, which have been incredibly effective, and each have specific open bounties on their heads because each ship individually causes so much trouble for the outlaws. The 600i is a mid-sized luxury class cargo transport, exploration, and touring vehicle. With 2 different trims, it manages to equip owners and passengers alike with everything they need to continue their extravagant voyages in style. This ship is commonly used to ferry corporate executives, government officials, and the billionaires of the UEE looking for a thrill, and continues to be one of the best ships to buy if you would like to be the captain at the helm of those missions. Keep in mind though, The ship is looking at a minor redesign as the engineers at Origin have seen improvements from the 890 Jump which can be incorporated. Speaking of the 890 Jump, it is that ship that can't pull into the arbor due to its incredible size. Known as the most beautiful ship money can buy, the 890 Jump is the ultimate party cruise for the 0.1%, the top-of-the-line mega yacht for long-range touring trips out into deep space. Unrivaled in style and sophistication, many CEOs, politicians, and Spectrum stars now consider the 890 Jump their home away from home. Despite the ship's now vaunted status, the 890 Jump was a major gamble for Origin when they first put it into production in 2858. However, in the end, even Origin was surprised by the ship's success. Whether you want to be at the head of the ship or down in the spa relaxing until you reach your next destination, if you want the luxury experience, you'll need to find yourself an 890.
But most of all,
Origin is most definitely the exotic manufacturer of the human ship lineup. It imbues luxury in places that many people would never consider. It used practices and materials that do nothing but send prices skyrocketing and pat the heads of the owners. It constantly delivers on fun, extravagance, and opulence. And if that's your life, then Origin is home.
See your authorized Origin dealer for details.
You ever heard of that saying, good imitation doesn't exist? No, probably not, because it's not true. Esperia is like if you took an incredibly dedicated classic car restoration company and then smashed it together with an entomologist. No offense to the aliens, but Esperia has a ridiculous talent for showing the best of what ships alien species have to offer. But the company didn't start like that. No, Esperia was founded in 2873 by the Engstrom brothers, or the Strom Bros for short, as an effort to uphold aeronautical history by maintaining an aerospace blueprint archive. See, one of the brothers was obsessed with alien history, while the other was a talented engineer. Together, they were amazed at how little knowledge there was about ships that were only a few decades old. One of the brothers, Jovi, dropped out of school and liquidated his trust funds to fulfill a goal of historical maintenance with the help of the other brother, Theo. The name Esperia came from a small-scale ship manufacturer renowned in collector circles that was tragically wiped out when the Orion system fell to the Vandul. The brothers scoured the universe, finding all sorts of blueprints and maintaining them while asking a fee for access to their archives. The company quickly made a name for itself among ship collectors as the go-to source for ship blueprints, but it also continued to struggle to turn a profit this way. So Theo began to take it on himself after graduating to restore and sell ships as a way of funding the company's main goal. This eventually caught the attention of the Hurstons, and everything from then on was history. Victor Hurston was a bit of a playboy with a penchant for exotic ships. He wanted to wow everybody with a Vandul glaive he had recently come into possession of. Esperia, with their expertise, was able to bring it to flight-ready status for him, which brought the company an enormous amount of publicity. So much so, in fact, that the UEE Navy came knocking. And ever since then, Esperia has been on the Navy's payroll, making Vandul ships work for them for training purposes. Since then, they've also been able to expand into the private sector, and even recently have been allowed access to the Cabal system, where they've been able to catalog ancient Tavaran ships. While the company may be known for creating replica ships down to the smallest detail, it is very much still focused on maintaining the historical integrity of every ship and blueprint it has access to. Even the company's philanthropic efforts reflect an ultimate goal of furthering our respect and understanding of other cultures. Each year, 8 students at the University of Rator receive the Engstrom Fellowship for their work in the field of xenoarchaeology. And all of this is not without a mutual understanding. The company's level of respect is only exemplified by the very reactions from the first Tavaran senator, Suj Kosi, who says, "The discovery of Cabal remains complicated for us. When Esperia approached me to consult on this, I wasn't immediately sure how to respond, but seeing their dedication to preserving our technology and history is inspiring." While it may be true the company CEO is no longer an Engstrom brother, but rather Charlotte Hussian, the goal and mission of the company remains the same. Continue to nerd out on old ships and keep remaking and preserving them as best as possible. As Esperia is more about maintaining the specific aesthetic of each and every model they get their hands on, there's not much of an overarching design language. That being said, you can see from every ship the level of care that is taken to use proper materials, technologies, and designs to best replicate and represent the historical models, and to keep the models updated as the corresponding alien ships are also updated. As mentioned before, Esperia really got their start with the original Esperia Glaive replica, a medium fighter generally used by the best of the Vanduul pilots. Thus, it finds itself a very rare replica as well, and has remained incredibly difficult for anybody to come across for sale. Whether this replica will be updated to match the Vanduul's newer styles is still a question, though the original historical replicated model could remain quite vintage. The same question exists for the Blade, the Vanduul light fighter replica. This ship is more commonly being used by non-military personnel as a frontier defense ship, a controversial but effective approach to protecting humanity. Per Esperia's naval contract, Blades have been returned to Esperia's care as more advanced aggressor designs are manufactured at a one-to-one basis. The Scythe is a maneuverable medium fighter used by the Vanduul as the foot soldier of their aerial conflicts. This ship also features a pretty hefty payload in its asymmetrical design. The newer models from Esperia include the Prowler, a sleek boarding dropship replicated from the findings in the Cabal system to the most exact specifications. While a common criticism of Tavaran ships is that they look like birds while human ships don't look like monkeys, Esperia says, "When you create your own universe, you make whatever ships you want. Stop your complaining." And boy, do they really take their own words to heart. The technology, design, and overall capabilities of this ship speak for themselves and the company. The latest introduction from Esperia is the Talon, a fast and maneuverable light fighter which again features an Avarian design reminiscent of the Tavaran. With a powerful phalanx projection shield system and a solid armament for its size, the Talon makes for a great fighter embracing the strike fast, strike hard mantra of the Tavaran military. Esperia could most definitely call itself the most exotic ship manufacturer of the human lineup, though it would be challenged by others. One thing nobody else can claim, though, is the historical importance that Esperia has maintained throughout its entire existence. And with such a unique position in ship manufacturing, you can bet we will see some very interesting future projects from the company. The exotics of the human species. Beautiful ships come from both of these companies, and if you're looking for the more rare and expensive methods of showing off what you have, then they are the two companies to seriously consider. If you'd like to learn about the 8 other major manufacturers, make sure to check out the full playlist in the video description. And if you'd like a place where you can discuss and ask more about this information, then join my gaming community on Discord or find me streaming on Twitch on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Finally, I'm only able to do this because of the amazing support from my subscribers and patrons, so please consider visiting me on Patreon where you'll get early videos, additional content, and extended cinematics. Keep an eye out for my monthly giveaway in the video description, and consider joining my channel here as a member where you can get additional perks on YouTube. I hope you'll consider subscribing here for more videos and entertainment as well, and I'll see you in the next video.